Hello everyone, welcome back into another video. Today we are in Warframe and we are gonna have a look at your builds. This is the second episode of the series and I will finish with the builds I had left in my other videos. I will from now on focus on the comments on these videos and use those builds in the future episodes of your builds. That's probably confusing, but that's what's gonna happen. So if you want to share your builds, do it in the comment section of this video or the first episode. But if I find a comment with a build that is really powerful on one of my other videos, I will still share it in the next episode. And as always, these videos will be less edited and more relaxed because, yeah, I just want to unwind and enjoy your builds. Anyways, that's enough for now, so let's start with the first build. Alright, the first build comes from a commenter on my Wukong is Invincible video. The commenter is Ross Heiken Leonen 1416. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if I butchered it, but pretty much the build focuses on using a dagger in combo with the Argonac, the Amalgam Argonac mod, which reduces base armor from enemies by 6 every time you damage an enemy with your dagger, which means you reduce armor very fast, especially on, easier targets like butchers. If you, on the other hand, want to remove armor from, a heavy gunner or something like that has 500 base armor, that's gonna take a lot longer, but it does work. It's a bit slow, and I do prefer using my cat for armor shape. This is, by the way, the build I use on my cat. And how it works is it uses Vicious Bone to remove armor from enemies, and it also spreads this armor shape to other enemies in 9 meters when the cat uses abilities, which pretty much is the only thing that the cat will do. And the claws are these that will make that even better because they have corrosive and heat as well. So armor shaping is gonna be a thing that the cat does in seconds, and it does also apply viral. So if you want to armor shape, I do suggest using a Panzerwupperpfeiler with a similar build to this one, and you are going to be fine. But for the sake of showcasing the build, I will use this without the cat right now, but I will use the cat afterward because it's just a better way, and it allows you to use any primary weapon you want. The build on Wukong is something like this. You just want to use either Roar or Nourish. That's what Ross suggested in the comment, and I think they are probably the best choices anyway. You can maybe, I guess, use Often Emise if you want some other ways to armor shape, but for this showcase, this is what I'm going to use. You mostly want to focus on power strength and more duration, so if you want to change some of the mods, you can easily do that. On the Argonac, I only have the Amalgam mod just because we need that to activate the passive effect. And the Inodem build looks something like this. It does use some of the new Galvanize mods, which are really powerful. I did remove Weeping Wounds because I didn't have enough slots to use the mod, but Galvanize Elementalist does pretty much the same thing, although you gain a little bit less status, but that's still fine. You will probably reach 80 or something status chance, which is more than enough. And we are pairing Gas Electricity with Melee Influence, that way we can basically kill all the enemies in range, which is pretty good. And the Incarnon evolutions are the same as I showcased in my other videos. I usually don't swap them because they're pretty good already. But without the cat, what damage looks like, and without a Roar, I guess, what it looks like is nothing insane, of course, because we haven't built enough combo, and somehow our Tenokai still hasn't triggered, but whatever. Without anything, the weapon is already capable of killing all the enemies in a few hits, which is pretty good. So now that the weapon is ready to dash some more damage, maybe we will see if we get the Tenokai. There we go. Everything is now dead, which is much better than just not using any buffs. Of course, if we add Roar to the mix, we gain 66% more damage, and yeah, everything just is going to die in a few seconds, which is great. And of course, you can just repeat this as long as you have all your buffs active. It's gonna be pretty much the same. Everything will just die, and everything is not supposed to survive. As you can see, I'm not able to remove the armor from enemies before they die. That's because I'm already removing 6 base armor from like 500 they have, and that is literally impossible because we kill them much faster. So that's why I will use my Panzerwupperpfeiler. And what the Panzerwupperpfeiler does is it does the armor shape for us without any additional effort. It will just go there and just armor shape enemies in seconds, which is great. And of course, it allows us to delete a lot faster than, well, just waiting, you know, because we're armor shipping the whole group of enemies here, because the armor ship spreads in 9 meters, and that is less than 9 meters, so yeah, cat is much better for armor ship. But of course, I wanted to also showcase what the commenter suggested, and he additionally suggested using the Rakta Dark Dagger if you want a more safe build, I guess, because this weapon does restore shields whenever you attack enemies with radiation, so use the Rakta Dark Dagger. It's also a pretty good weapon. And yeah, that's pretty much the first build. We can now move on to the second one. Alright, and here we are with the second build and third build and fourth build, I guess. It's only one because all the commenters in the video pretty much suggested different weapons, and so we have pretty much all of them on this build, and they are all quite interesting. And I will probably test this in a mission because I do enjoy this build quite a lot. I tested a bit in the simulacrum and it's really fun, but without wasting any more time, let's just see what the build looks like. What you want to use on your Zephyr is a build that looks something like this, and you can use airburst rounds or not. It's just more damage for your secondary weapon, which is important if you're using the Grimoire, and it does deal a lot of damage just by itself with the tornadoes if you just shoot them with your weapons. But these weapons in particular, they are let's say broken, because I mean they are broken. We are again using the same cat as before because of the armor ship and all the other stuff, which is great. We are using the Gutva Prime with a build that looks something like this, which is pretty much just crit damage and status. And this is what Cyanide 7270 suggested on the Zephyr video. Pretty much just building for crit damage and status, and the only status we are building into is Blast. And this is surprisingly good. I'm using primary Merciless, but there are probably other arcanes you can use on this build. Merciless is just the usual great arcane that works in any case, in any scenario. And let's just start with this. So what happens is we summon the enemies, we summon the tornadoes, we shoot the tornadoes, and you see those red numbers, right? That is because the Gutva, every time it applies statuses, has a 15% chance to make the next round a red crit, basically, and that is literally what's happening. And of course, now that we have some of the merciless stacks active, what we can do is again group up enemies with the tornadoes, shoot the tornadoes, and everything dies in an instant. It's, I guess, a thing that happens, but it's just so powerful and so dumb. So yeah, Gotva Prime with Blast, great. I'm not sure why did I so fast, but that happens, I guess, and it's beautiful. So great job, Cyanide 7220. This combo Zephyr and Gotva Prime is just amazing. Now the second build is for Zephyr with the Grimoire, and this comes from Prodromata. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I butcher your names, but I'm trying my best. So Prodromata suggested using the Grimoire with a build that looks something like this, I guess. It's a blast build with corrosive as well, which I think it's the way to go. You can probably deal more damage if you instead use Pistol Elementalist. I guess we can try this and see how powerful it is. And they also suggested using secondary Fortify for the Overguard buff and everything else. It's actually pretty good and very nice because you can get like 15,000 Overguard by killing Eximus units. I'm using Vom Invocation for more power strength because I think you want to add this. And we are using Yahoo Canticle to armor ship enemies and also remove their shields even faster. And what happens when you use this combo of Grimoire and Zephyr plus Airburst that increases your damage by 500% on your secondaries, so that's pretty good. What happens is you also add your tornadoes into the mix, and whoopsie, you can just spam your alt fire. So that's interesting, and it's also quite powerful. I mean, not as powerful as the Gotva Prime. It might be because I'm using the wrong build, but that is still killing all the enemies in seconds. And you can do this very fast while also getting that 60% more power strength, which means you don't have to build for that much power strength on your Zephyr. You can use something else like more survivability, more duration, whatever, and focus more on just enjoying the weapons. Again, it's beautiful, and blasting all the enemies seems the way to go right now. The meta is just blast and gas, and Zephyr capitalizes on this blast damage by having those tornadoes that apply blast, plus buffs to her secondary weapons, and man, it's just beautiful. Like, watching all those enemies die inside your tornadoes is always nice to see. So yeah, great job, Rodro Mata, for the build. Again, another great suggestion, and also adds to the build, so we now have good Prime and Grimoire that can both increase our damage and kill enemies in seconds. But of course, I left the best of the best at the end, because, I mean, of course, that's what you do. And this comes from Find Me 2708, and yeah, what they suggested is using a heavy slam build. So what better weapon than the Arca Titan? The build for the weapon is pretty simple. It's just a heavy slam build, and what I'm using is again melee influence with gas, because again that's the way to go. I'm using the new mod Galvanized Reflex because it makes this build just even crazier. The comment is from 2 months ago, and this mod were just added, so if the build was already great before, now it's just even better. For example, we are also using Galvanized Elementalist for more status damage and more status chance, so we apply gas even more often, and what we are going to do is just spam heavy slams, and that is already, without doing anything, enough to kill all the enemies, but just doing it a couple times, I guess, at first, because we don't have the fully stacked mods. And now we can just one-shot all the enemies. So that's already something, right? But you can also combo that with your tornadoes, and well, it's not just going to be the slam that kills the enemies. The tornadoes will deal just some damage, just a few ticks of damage, like 1.8 million damage per tick. Nothing insane, right? I mean, that just lingers there for a while and keeps dealing damage. So I don't think it's that much damage, right? What happened there? But yeah, it's just broken, and I think you can also one-shot Necromex with this build, and of course Acolytes as well, I think. So yeah, it's powerful. Anyways, I will now leave you guys to the showcase with this full build, because thanks to the commenters, I managed to make another Zephyr build that is also insane, and your primary weapon, secondary weapon, and even your melee are all just broken and overpowered. And if you wonder again about the Zephyr build, if you forgot, this is the build. And of course you can add some other Archon shards, because as I said, these aren't that effective, so you know, you can do a bunch of stuff with Archon shards and make your build even better. I hope you enjoyed this second episode of testing your builds, and if you want your builds to be featured in the next videos, remember to leave a comment with the ones you prefer, and I will test them out and maybe add them to the next episode. Enjoy the showcase, have a great rest of the day, and bye-bye.
Got a monster inside of me, you better watch out. If your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets caught real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Loves the blood and gold, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it for the party. And if you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. There's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. There's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. When there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
Got a ticket to nowhere.